Hi foodies, let's get started on this delicious stovetop roast. Okay, so for the roast you want to clean it pat dry and then drizzle on some olive oil, add beef seasoning or steak seasoning or oxtail seasoning. I'm using oxtail seasoning today. Some crushed allspice, black pepper and salt if you need to, because that depends on the salt content of the seasoning you're using, right? Then I add some minced fresh rosemary, and I will be using my green seasoning. It's not too green today because I didn't put parsley in it this time, but this has onion, garlic, scallion, some thyme, some scotch bonnet. I do add soy sauce and massage that into the roast. Put some slits into each piece of beef, or if you're using one piece of beef, put some slits in there, and in those slits you're going to push down the seasoning in there. Also, you could put some thinly sliced garlic pieces. I do add a little browning for color, but that's up to you. You don't have to. All right. You'll notice that I have pieces. If you are using one large piece, that's fine. Just follow the same steps for seasoning it. I highly recommend that you marinate this overnight or for 24 hours if you can. All right. Then the day of, you're going to let that roast sit at room temperature for about 30 minutes. Then sear it on all sides. So this is about medium heat. And I'm just going to be searing the roast pieces on all sides. Sometimes I press it down with a spatula just to make sure it's hitting the surface of the pot. But you don't have to do that. I just wanted to show you. All right. So go ahead, place all the pieces in there, or your single piece if that's what you're doing. The reason I cut this up was I was going to use it for different things, but then I ended up, just cooking everything. All right. After about 4 minutes, check it out and flip that over and then continue to just sear on all sides. I also like to put them on this side as well. Once they can stand up, go ahead and do that. You'll get even more color on there. Then once everything is nicely seared, set them aside in a bowl or a plate. And that same pot, you're going to be adding some carrots and onions, okay? So turn it down to low heat. Don't wash that pot out, okay? You've got lots of flavor in there. Just add some chopped carrots and onions. Stir those around over that low to medium heat until they are a little more, a little more cooked. You don't want them to be brown. That's not what the aim is. Just get it a little more tender than it is when it's raw, right? And once it's fragrant, go ahead and add garlic. But I forgot to add my garlic, so I went in with some tomato sauce. You could use tomato paste. And I add some ketchup, stir that around, loosen those, bits and pieces of seasoning that stuck to the pot. And then this is where I added the garlic because I was like, oh, I forgot the garlic. All right, so stir that around for about a minute. And then you're going to be adding the garlic. Stir that around as well. You want to release all the flavors, right? And then after about a minute, go ahead and add red wine. Use some red wine that you'd like to drink. Make sure it tastes good to you, all right? And you're going to allow that to reduce. Allow the wine to simmer for about 3 minutes, right? So the wine deglazes the pot really nicely. but just allow it to simmer for 3 minutes. Then add some Worcestershire sauce and beef broth. If you have no beef broth, use chicken broth or use water with a little piece of beef seasoning cube. All right. Then add scallion, some fresh thyme and rosemary, 1 bay leaf, some allspice, and then you're going to put the pieces of roast right in there. The liquid does not have to cover the roast. All right. Halfway is perfectly fine. You're going to be simmering this over low heat, so a very low, gentle simmer for about an hour or more. Because I'm using pieces, it'll be faster. If you're using one big roast, it'll take longer. You're going to turn this over every 30 minutes. And then, once it's cooked, set it aside, strain all the solids out, and make your gravy. All I did was to strain the solids out and add a slurry. And the slurry is a mixture of water with cornstarch. Just whisk it in for at least a minute and give it a taste. Add any seasonings or sauces that you want to add, like, some steak sauce or more Worcestershire or soy sauce. Once you're happy with the flavor of the gravy and your roast has rested for at least 8 to 10 minutes, just slice up that roast and drizzle that gravy all over. This goes well with some green beans and mashed potatoes. It is so good. Remember to check the description box for the list of ingredients and some tips. Enjoy!